My name is Paul Halferty, and I will be interviewing Tim Luscombe today, the playwright who wrote Pig, which is on right now at Buddies in Bad Times Theatre. So thank you, Tim, first off, for agreeing to do this interview.
It's a pleasure.
Great.
I suppose it began really with my wanting to process what I'd experienced on the scene.
Okay.
And it was a time when I was single and doing a lot of internet dating and came across all sorts of fascinating people, and I thought, wow, this is a side of gay life that I was up till now unaware of, the bug chasing, gift-giving side, the death wish aspect, and I thought, this needs putting on stage. I mean, I'm always interested in writing plays when I feel a sense of anger that other people don't know about stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's arrogant, but I think, oh, I know about this, everybody should know about it. And that's always what motivates me. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning to write. So, yeah, that's kind of where it started. I thought I need to process this. I need to explain it to myself. And for me, writing a play is always the way to do that. So that's where the very strong, characters of Knife and Pig came from. I think sex is such an important part of us and so linked to our genius, our sense of inspiration and creativity. It's not just cock and arse action, it's something that's profoundly to do with our spirit of creativity and our spirit of playfulness, innocence, if you like, fun, and that's unsellable. Apart from it isn't. People do sell it.
And always have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although it takes on particular currency, I think, in the play, and in terms of, I don't know if you can, the third character, the Watcher, he is a bit of a voyeur, and there are scenes where he talks about pornography with Knife, and there's one scene particularly that he's talking about, and it's a scene in which someone is meant to die, and he's questioning its reality. So I wonder, you mentioned earlier that there was a lot of sort of interesting things going on in your experience online. I wonder if you could, was there an instance for you where you saw something online or in terms of what was happening in some sort of subcultural milieu that you thought, oh yes, this moment has to be shown. This moment was there a moment?
Yeah. I was at somebody's flat. We'd had sex, and he was showing me through his pool. And there was a video he had of a young man, I suppose, probably a teenager, a young boy, with just sitting in a chair, and suddenly somebody from behind him put a plastic bag over his head and held it close. And the appearance in the video was that the boy died. Now, it could all have been acted, there could have been tricks to it, or it could have been faked in many, many ways. But it seemed to me at the time, oh my God, I'm watching a snuff movie. So that was one thing that stuck with me, as these things do. And again, I felt like I needed to get that out and get it on paper,
What were they saying in Britain? Can't produce it, or because?
I think they just thought, who is the audience?
Okay.
And although London in many ways is a more sophisticated, or at least a bigger theatre city than Toronto, what it does not have, and what Toronto absolutely has, is a decades-old queer theatre space, or gay theatre space. We don't have that. We're queer theatre poor in London. There are gay theatre companies that pop up and last 10, maybe 15 years in the case of Gay Sweatshop. And I ran a gay theatre company for 4 years, but they go. And there's no queer space for production of queer theatre or queer-related theatre. So, here, it's not only a queer space, but because of its existence and for so many decades, it seems that you've got a very sophisticated audience around you that know that the theatre is an outlet for their interests as much as the bars are. I also direct as well as write, and I just directed a play by Noel Coward called The Rat Trap. It was a play he wrote when he was 19 years old, but it's a phenomenally good play about a heterosexual couple of artists who agree to marry, and the best friend of the to-be bride, the bride-to-be wife, says he will dominate. You're more talented, whatever her name was, but your husband will dominate because he's the man. And I thought, that's interesting. I compare a couple of gay creatives with a couple of gay rent boy, kind of SM men, and see how they behave together. It was only later that I got the idea of twisting the plot around who's creating who, and so on. And through that came the idea of an exploration of fantasy and reality, theatricality and role-playing that's followed through in the play.
I thought there was you leave the first act feeling quite invigorated and like, oh my God, that was, quite amazed. And I think people came in expecting a kind of, you talked about catharsis and understanding theatre in terms of catharsis. And I felt that it almost purposely frustrated the catharsis of the audience.
Absolutely. I wanted it to explode really in the second half and just and spiral out of control, so that even, I have to say, during the second half of the first performance I saw, I was thinking, now hang on, what? And I thought, well, my God, if I'm thinking that, then everybody else is going to be completely lost. But in an interesting way, I think. Why should we? I think that playing with time and space in that, as I say, anarchic way, is kind of interesting and serves the purpose of what the play is all about, which is we'll never figure out this, the meaning of life, the purpose of life. We'll never really settle on one performance for ourselves, one role to play in life. We change as we grow older, we change depending on who we're with. None of that is ever pin downable. And as soon as you've learned one lesson about life, you either forget and have to learn it again, or you learn a different lesson. It's all unpredictable, and I just wanted to find some way of showing that on stage, so that in a way the three time strands fold in upon themselves in one scene and then they explode out in the next scene. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I like that unpredictability.
Thank you very much, Tim, for speaking with me today, and thank you so much for your play. As I said a little earlier, I was waiting for a play like this, and I'm glad I got to see it.
Well, it's great to talk to you. It's, as they say in America, it's been real.
It's been, we say that in Canada too.
Do you?
Right,
okay.
Probably started in America. We're just imitating.
Well, really it has. Really, really.
We're
really real.
Okay, good. We're imitating them, really. We're sort of like Americans, but not.
Right.
Which sort of goes with the play.
Fractured personality.
Yeah, kind of.
Because you're very English too.
We're also a little bit, we're caught between empires, really.
Yeah, I got stuck behind a red London bus on my way here this afternoon. That was surreal.
Very diesel-y. But thank you very much, Tim.
It's been a great pleasure.